And we are live. How's it going, everybody? This is my live NXT TakeOver London review. The show just wrapped up live on the WWE Network, and I gotta say, guys, this was a hell of a show from NXT. This was a great show from start to finish. I loved it. Really every match was good to great. Even the worst match on the card was solid. I mean, you just had a great opener, a really good women's championship match, and then to top it all off, you had a great fight to the finish for the NXT championship. So let's get right down. Well, actually, first, before I get right down to it, since this is live, let me tweet this out to my buddies. So just give me 1 minute. Sorry for the dead silence. Alright, just gonna tweet it to a couple more buddies, just so they can spread the word, you know. One more person. Alright, I got one viewer. Shout out to you. Okay, so let's get right down to the review. NXT TakeOver London. Like I said, I thought the show was great. Loved it. I think NXT TakeOver Brooklyn finally has a formidable rival in terms of which of these two shows was the NXT TakeOver Special of the Year. Just great. The crowd in London was great. The atmosphere, I think, was great. So yeah, let's just get right down to my review. So we kicked off the show with Asuka versus Emma in what was just a hell of a women's wrestling match. I mean, right there, to have Asuka and Emma kick off the show, that was the best way. That was the best thing to do in terms of like finding the perfect opener. Real good women's match between these two. You know, Asuka is red hot. She was red hot with the crowd, and I see why NXT is heavily invested in her. She is just a hell of a fighter out there. She's that lovely, lethal badass who will just kick your ass. You know, you can bring the fight to her, you can bring on the pain, and she'll love it, and she'll just keep coming. Real good action throughout this match. You know, Asuka, right at the start of the match, going for her trademark spinning martial arts kick, and Emma got out of the way. You know, Emma with this new attitude, I love it. I think she's real good with this new, you know, I don't want to say badass persona, but I like her new attitude. You know, no more of the dancing. This is the evolution, so to speak, of Evolution. Like I said, I just really enjoyed this match between Asuka and Emma. Great women's opener. You know, they just went at it. It was a hard-hitting women's match, and so far Emma has been the only competitor to really take it to Asuka and have her in have her not on the ropes, but like really take the fight to her. It wasn't one-sided like some people were thinking. I personally thought it was going to be one-sided, but I mean, it was still a really good match. Towards the end, you had Emma. I forgot what happened, but you had oh, Emma was going. No, I know what was going on. So you have the end of the match, and you have Asuka attempt to get Emma in the Asuka lock, and Emma's fighting like she's. I think she grabbed onto the referee by his shirt, and then the ref managed to break away. But then Emma used her force to drive Asuka into the corner, into the referee. From there, Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke threw Emma a weapon, which was, I guess, her leather belt, and Asuka and Emma were fighting over it. Asuka I'm sorry. Asuka gained control of that item, and then the referee spotted it, and I was thinking, oh my god, they're gonna disqualify Asuka. Like, no, no, don't. And what happened was after that, Emma 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 tries to take advantage. Asuka gets her in the Asuka lock again. Dana Brooke tries to interfere. Referee ejects Dana from ringside, and then Asuka goes after Dana after she's been ejected. Emma grabs the belt and tries to use it on Asuka. Asuka knocks her out with the spinning martial arts kick. 1, 2, 3. Asuka gets the win in just a hell of an opening match, a hell of a women's match. 3.25 stars. Kudos to both women for putting on just an exciting opener. Real good. I mean, I loved it. That's how you keep the Divas Revolution in NXT going. I mean, you have them kick off the show in an exciting fashion like that. I mean, that's how you do it. So, as always, guys, my ratings are down below in the description box. Next, we had the NXT Tag Team Championship match. Dash and Dawson defending against Enzo Amore and Colin Cassady. This was a fun tag match, good match. Once again, Dash and Dawson establishing why they are like the new school brainbuster team on NXT. You know, no flips, just this as their slogan goes, catchphrase, whatever you want to call it. This did have some good action. Early on, you had Enzo get not catapulted, but he had Cass pick up Enzo and throw him, you know, air Enzo early on in the match onto Dash and Dawson. Crowd was really into the match. Crowd was heavily behind Enzo and Cass. And I have to say, Carmella, Enzo says Carmella is hot as hell. Well, damn, she looked fine as hell tonight. And I know Stevie Breach and my boy Brandon, aka Gamerman16, I know they were I guess marking out, or they mentioned that too on Twitter, that Carmella was looking fine as hell and hot as hell. Good tag match overall. You know, you had Dash and Dawson regain the momentum and start working on not only Enzo's arm, but they also went back to work on Cass's injured left leg, I believe, from a few weeks ago when they incapacitated Cass and took him out with injury. And then towards the end of the match, Enzo got a hot tag, and he went up for Enzo. He hit the splash. I honestly thought it was over. 1, 2, but Dawson pulled Enzo out of the ring, and then a brawl ensued on the outside. Enzo, or Cass, got taken out by Dawson. Enzo went back up, but then Dash and Dawson caught him off guard with that double team code breaker from the top rope, and Enzo and Dash and Dawson, I should say, retained the tag team championships. It was a good match, like I said, fun tag match. I really thought Enzo and Cass were gonna win it. I was just shocked that my prediction came true, because if you remember my predictions video, I said that my prediction was Dash and Dawson because I just didn't see them losing the tag titles this early. But part of me wanted to see Enzo and Cass win the tag team championships once and for all, because, you know, had they won it, no one could say they hadn't deserved it or they hadn't busted their asses to finally get him. So at this point, it looks like it's going to be Chad Gable and Jason Jordan that take those titles away from Dash and Dawson. But I do want to see Enzo and Cass have one run with the NXT Tag Team Championships before they get called up to the main roster. But as far as this match went, good match, fun tag match. Carmella looked hot as hell, like I've already said. Yeah, you know, I really thought Enzo and Cass were going to win it. You know, they had the home field advantage, so to speak, in terms of the crowd was heavily in their corner. But you know, once again, Dash and Dawson come out on top. And, you know, like I said, these guys have grown on me. I like them, and I want to see them keep doing well in NXT. I want to see all the young talent on NXT do well. But yeah, was a little surprised that my prediction came true. But good fun tag match between Dash and Dawson and Enzo and Cass. Next, we had Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Now, before I get to this match, I just gotta state one thing. If you guys remember the order that I did my predictions video in, Well, that was pretty much the same order that the matches played out here on NXT TakeOver London. I sort of marked out for that. I didn't expect it, but yeah, the way that I predicted every single match, the order that I did was the same order that the matches played out here tonight or here today on NXT TakeOver London. So, like I said, next we had Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. This match was all right. You know, when I said that the worst match on the card was solid, that's what I meant. I mean, these guys tried. Early on in the match, like right at the beginning, you know, you had Baron Corbin maul Apollo Crews into the corner, and then Apollo Crews managed to power Baron Corbin into the corner. That was really cool. And then it looked like Apollo took a bad bump on the outside because as he was charging toward Corbin, Corbin backdropped him, and Apollo hit his face on the steel stairs. I don't know if Apollo was able to get his hands up in time to prevent, I guess, control his momentum or prevent the blow from having a serious effect. You know what I mean? Like I guess he didn't. I'm not sure if he got his hands up in time to prevent his head from hitting the steel stairs. That was a pretty nasty bump. The one moment in this match that really stuck out to me wasn't even a move. It was just like as Corbin was working on Apollo Crews, he screamed out, "You should have stayed in Ring of Honor," which I thought was really, really funny. I mean, I was just like, wow, he actually said that. But I'm trying to remember if Apollo was even in Ring of Honor because I haven't really seen much of his work on the independent circuit. But towards the end of the match, it picked up. Corbin went for End of Days. Apollo countered it with the sick flip into an enziguri, which he immediately followed up with the standing moonsault. Baron Corbin kicked out. Apollo went for that like atomic drop spin out power bomb that he beat Tyler Breeze with. Corbin managed to hold on to the ropes. He countered and then he drilled Apollo Crews with the End of Days to get the 1-2-3. And Baron Corbin upsets Apollo Crews. He breaks Apollo's undefeated streak. In my predictions video, I said that my prediction was Apollo Crews, but I wouldn't be surprised if Baron Corbin won because of how Baron Corbin's built in recent weeks. And when it happened, I was like, wow, it actually happened. You know, like I wasn't surprised, but I was like, wow, Baron Corbin actually beat Apollo Crews. And I even said, like, you know, there was a possibility he could beat Apollo, and he did. So, you know, it's like I wasn't surprised, but I was like, wow, he actually did it. I was like, wow, you know what I mean? But one loss will not hurt Apollo Crews. He has so much momentum going for him. One loss will not hurt him. I'm sure they'll do a rematch maybe at NXT TakeOver Dallas. You know, Baron Corbin can go on and say, "Hey, I beat the fastest rising newcomer in NXT. Like, look at me now. You better take me serious." And Apollo can, you know, build his momentum. He didn't lose momentum off this loss. You know, he can try to redeem himself by beating guys week after week, and then hey, he gets a rematch with Baron Corbin. He'll most likely beat Baron Corbin at NXT TakeOver Dallas, or if they do an NXT TakeOver special in February. But like I said, this match was what it was. It wasn't. When I say it was the worst match, I don't mean it was absolutely horrible. It just was not as good as I thought it was going to be. These guys tried, but it's just, I guess they didn't mesh well. I mean, they had a better sequence of exchanges during the ending of that battle royal where Crews became #1 contender. But yeah, I don't think they meshed well in this match. They tried. The match is what it is, and like I said, when I say it was the worst match on the card, not necessarily horrible or terrible, it just wasn't as good as you would expect it to be. So next, we had the NXT Women's Championship match. Bayley defending against Nia Jax. This was a match I was heavily invested in only because I wanted to see if either A, Bayley was going to beat Nia Jax by pinfall, submission, DQ, count out, whatever, or B, if they were going to actually give Nia the championship, even though she's still a little green. This was a very good women's championship match, and it had some great storytelling in it. You know, basically, you had Nia Jax, this monster heel diva. She went in there, and she just pounded the hell out of Bayley. She threw her around like a rag doll. She was just overpowering her. And the whole story was, how could Bayley overcome this monster of a diva? You know, Bayley got in offense. Like early on, Bayley was using her speed to get away from Nia, but Nia would just get her. And when Nia got her, I mean, she threw her around like a rag doll. She slammed her, this and that. Nia was just using her power to her advantage over Bayley. And like I said, there was no way Bayley was gonna get Nia up for a Bayley to belly. If she did, that would have been an incredible feat of strength. That would have just been amazing. But yeah, you know, Bayley would make her comeback later on in the match, but then there was a point where Nia just went all out, and I swear I thought she was going to kill Bayley. She hit her with 3 consecutive Samoan drops. She hit her with like 2 straight leg drops, and you know, Nia just really brought the fight to Bayley. I still think Nia's a little green, but Nia, I mean, really established herself as a monster heel in this match. You know, after those 3 Samoan drops, I thought, you know, there's no way Bayley's kicking out of that. And before you know it, Bayley kicks out. They kept going at it. At one point, Nia had Bayley on the top rope, and then Bayley managed to counter with a front face guillotine. And she actually managed to knock Nia off her feet. I can't forget this. They're on the top rope, and Bayley managed to knock Nia off her feet, like just, you know, like knock her off the ropes. And then she did a cannonball from the top rope. That came out really nice. Bayley got some Bayley started making a comeback. She hit Nia with, I think, like 2 diving elbows. She still couldn't knock Nia down. And then after Nia turned the match around in her favor, Bayley from the top rope had Nia in a front face guillotine, and twice Nia just slammed Bayley to the mat, and then I think she hit her with a leg drop, and that's why I thought it's over, because Nia just, man, unmercifully was just beating the hell out of Bayley in this match. And the crowd was heavily behind Bayley. The one thing I will say about this crowd is they were very lively. I think they were as lively, maybe a little more lively than the crowd in Brooklyn. They were chanting chanting the chants you always hear on NXT, and then chanting their own chants. I think at one point they were even singing the Beatles, the song "Love" by the Beatles, which was just great, you know. And they were singing some kind of song to try to get Bayley back in the match. I couldn't tell what it was. But in the end, Bayley applied the front face guillotine one more time, and this time she managed to get Nia down on her butt. Like, she got Nia down, and you know, she just kept cranking and cranking. And I was saying to myself, like, okay, just let Nia pass out, because I think if she passes out and doesn't tap out, that's gonna make her look even stronger. But then, to the surprise of pretty much everybody, including myself, Nia Jax tapped out at the last second. You know, now I don't necessarily think that's gonna hurt her momentum as a monster heel, because I think in this match she proved how dominant she is and how dominant she could be in the future. I just was surprised that they had Nia tap out. You know, I said it. I said, don't do what WWE did wrong with Kevin Owens and have him tap out. Have Nia pass out. Have her keep that momentum. Have her go out strong, in a sense, to the point where she never tapped out. She never really, you know, lost. You know, Bayley never really beat her, so to speak. But you know what? That doesn't take away from the match. You know, I don't think it's gonna hurt Nia personally. You know, the storytelling in this match made it really good. Bayley, once again, the underdog, overcoming the odds, and her performance was a testament to just who she is as a performer. You know, Bayley, undoubtedly one of the best women's wrestlers out there. I enjoyed this match. You know, I didn't know what to expect from it. I was expecting Eva Marie would get involved, or there would be some kind of screwy finish, but no, Bayley beats Nia Jax. So Apollo Crews loses to Baron Corbin. Nia Jax loses to Bayley. So that's 2 undefeated streaks that were snapped, but I don't think these losses necessarily hurt those who were formerly undefeated. Really good women's championship match, 3 1/4 stars, same rating that I gave Asuka and Emma. I just really enjoyed it. So now I'm thinking maybe we'll get at NXT TakeOver Dallas a fatal 4-way. We could do Bayley versus Nia Jax versus Eva Marie versus Alexa Bliss. And that could be the night that either Alexa or Nia Jax wins the NXT Women's Championship, or you could have Bayley escape by the skin of her teeth with the NXT Women's Championship when it looks like Nia's gonna pull out the victory, and then you can ultimately set the stage for a major, maybe last woman standing match at the next TakeOver event that'll follow after Dallas, and that's when ultimately Bayley can drop the title to Nia and then probably come up to the main roster. But like I said, a really good women's championship match. I would have preferred Nia pass out rather than tap out, but I don't think it's going to ultimately hurt her momentum. I think she'll still be as dominant as she is, and then she'll get another shot at the championship, and she'll most likely win that time. Or they want to, if NXT wants to hold that off until, well, actually, I think NXT TakeOver Dallas would be the perfect stage for a match of that caliber, a rematch of that caliber between between Bayley and Nia. But looking forward to seeing what happens between Bayley and Nia, and I'm just interested in seeing where Eva Marie's gonna fit in this whole storyline, I guess I could say. All right, so since I am live, I'm gonna go to my Twitter right now. All right, I got a couple comments from Squared Circle Society, my good buddy Tommy. Thanks for the comments, man. Thanks for subscribing to me. He says, I think they should do a last woman standing match for the next TakeOver with Nia and Bayley. I totally agree. I totally agree with that, because, you know, Nia looked pretty damn dominant in this match. She looked like a monster. And I think last woman standing would be the perfect way for Nia to further establish her dominance and beat Bayley. If they do it at TakeOver Dallas, and that would be awesome, just straight up, you know, because it would have a big fight feel to it. And if booked and built right, you know, Nia would ultimately, that would be huge for Nia to knock off Bayley during WrestleMania 32 weekend, because, you know, eventually Bayley's going to go to the main roster, although I think maybe they should wait until May or June to call her up to the main roster after, because you want to make sure you have a strong female lead on the NXT women's roster. So yeah, I could see Bayley dropping the title to Nia at NXT TakeOver Dallas, and then at the next NXT TakeOver special, they can do a rematch where it could be like Bayley's, I guess, last chance, so to speak. Square Circle Society, it basically sounds like Cena Umaga from 2007. Exactly, because that's exactly how it was played out. When Cena beat Umaga at New Year's Revolution in 2007, he did it with a come from behind with a roll up from out of nowhere. And then, you know, the storyline was Umaga's manager Armando Alejandro Estrada decided to make the match last man standing to prove that the last match was a fluke. The last victory that Cena earned was a fluke, but in last man standing, he's not going to earn a fluke victory over Umaga. So yeah, that's pretty much a great way that's a great feud in a sense to compare it to. So yeah, they should do Nia and Bayley last woman standing. And that would be the perfect way for Nia to be established as the top monster heel diva on NXT. And then you could build toward her and Asuka, while also you can do Nia and Bayley in a rematch after that, and it could be maybe Bayley's last chance. And then after that, you could build to Nia and Asuka oh, and by the way, if you're still watching this, Tommy, I hope these aren't spoilers or anything, because I do want you to enjoy the show. But I gotta mention one thing. Prior to the Nia Bayley match, Nia had a little face-to-face confrontation with Asuka, and Asuka had that little grin on her face, like, I like this. I want to fight you. Like, I'm not afraid of you. Freaking love Asuka. She is a badass, and when that match happens, holy hell, that is gonna be just awesome. So yeah, like I said, real good women's championship match between Nia and Bayley. Love the storytelling, and I don't think this really is gonna hurt Nia. You know, I don't think this is going to hurt Nia. I would have preferred she passed out, but this has to eventually, you know, this could lead to last woman standing. And, you know, Nia could say, oh, well, that was a fluke. You're lucky you made me tap out. But this time around, there ain't going to be a fluke. You have to keep me down to win, and I guarantee you, you are not keeping me down that easy. I want to see it happen. So who knows? You know, NXT did an Iron Woman match. I'm sure they wouldn't mind. I'm sure they wouldn't hesitate to do last woman standing. Finally, we get to the main event. Finn Bálor, the Demon Finn Bálor, defending the NXT Championship against Samoa Joe. Straight up, guys, this was an awesome championship match. This was a flat-out fight. This was a hard-hitting NXT Championship match. And the one thing I loved about how this match was booked was Joe never took the heel route. He was the heel, but there was a 50-50 split between him and Bálor in terms of crowd support. Joe came to fight. He didn't go to the ropes once like a heel. He didn't go to the outside to like catch his breath. No, he came to fight. He took the fight to Finn. This was just an awesome match. I loved it. You know, Bálor came out. Bálor came out dressed like Jack the Ripper. And if you don't know who Jack the Ripper is a notorious figure in London history. But his freaking demon entrance, this had to have been one of the best, if not the best. I mean, he comes out in a top hat and long trench coat just like Jack the Ripper, and the video package that played to lead into the entrance was awesome. I mean, Finn Bálor as the demon is just, he's awesome. I mean, how many more times can I say it? You know what I mean? So Bálor comes out dressed like Jack the Ripper, and awesome entrance. He even had like a demonic Jack the Ripper painted on his back. His war paint tonight, I think, was some of the best. It was just really awesome. You know, very colorful and demonic. And like I said, Finn came out. He came out guns blazing against Joe in the beginning of this match. You know, he hit him with some of his high offense early. He went for like a mini coup de grace on the stairs because he had Joe laid on the stairs, and Joe got out of the way. And then he ran toward Joe, and Joe caught him in like that STO chokeslam takedown move. I mean, they were just hitting each other with the hardest moves that they could. I don't remember a dull moment in this match between Bálor and Joe. You know, you had Joe hit a running splash in the corner, then a jumping enziguri, however you said. Just great action between these guys, man. I loved it. They were just, you know, Joe knocking Bálor to the outside and diving through the middle rope, hitting him with a suicide dive. You know, Joe going for the muscle buster and Bálor countering it with schoolboy. They just went at it. I mean, two renowned international talents, two renowned independent warriors, superstars, just leaving it all out on the line. I loved the booking of this match. I mean, they came to fight. There was not a dull moment. Joe was a freaking badass because towards the end of the match, when he's hit with two of Bálor's best signature drop kicks, he just shakes it off and he yells at Bálor to keep coming at it. And I'm like, damn, man, Samoa Joe's a badass, you know? They just went at it. I loved it. I loved this match. This is undoubtedly one of the best NXT Championship matches in recent years. I'd have to definitely say it's one of the best matches of the year. It's going to definitely be added to my match of the year category for my year-end awards. Yeah, man, I just loved it. And then the end of the match was great. You know, you had Joe going for the muscle buster and Bálor fighting it off, and then Joe, you know, hitting him with another jumping enziguri and knocking Bálor off guard, and then trying to go for a super muscle buster, and Bálor mustering up enough strength to like headbutt, knock Joe off the ropes, hit him with the coup de grace, and get the 1, 2, 3 to retain the NXT Championship. Just an awesome match, guys. Awesome way to end the show. 4.5 stars. And I said this on Twitter, you know, Joe has no shame in losing this match. Yes, his undefeated streak was broken as well. Joe has no shame in losing, man. He put on an awesome effort. He looked like a badass in this match, and I know he will be back to contend for that NXT Championship. I got a feeling the Finn Balor Samoa Joe feud isn't over, and I would love to see either a 30-minute or 60-minute Iron Man match between these two at the next NXT TakeOver special. I think in Dallas, I think NXT TakeOver Dallas is going to be the best site, the best time for Joe and Nia Jax to win their respective titles. I know in my predictions video, I picked Bayley to win because I didn't think Nia was ready to be NXT Women's Champion, and I picked Joe to win because I felt that his time was now, especially with how he was built as a heel in recent weeks. But I don't think this loss hurts Joe at all, because he went out there and took the fight to the Demon, and I think he came closer than anyone's ever come close to beating the Demon. So Samoa Joe can say, hey, you beat me, but I have your number. I came this close to beating you, and no one's ever taken the fight to the Demon like I did. So I want to see this feud keep going. Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. A 30-minute Iron Man match or a 60-minute Iron Man match at NXT TakeOver Dallas be freaking amazing. I would love to see it. I think if they do that, then NXT TakeOver London would have to, not TakeOver London, this is TakeOver London. NXT TakeOver Dallas would have to be a 3-hour special. Have 2 hours of like the first 4 or 5 matches, and then the last hour Iron Man match. Would love to see it. Finn Balor, Samoa Joe 2 Iron Man match, and that's when Joe can get his win and his NXT Championship. Great effort by both guys. Kudos to both guys. Overall, man, just a great way to end the show. And overall, I thought NXT TakeOver London was great. You know, like I said, the only bad match was a solid match that was what it was. But every other match I enjoyed. It was fun. It was either fun, good, or great. I feel like the matches mainly delivered, with the exception of Cruz and Baron Corbin. But like I said, you know, they tried. They did what they could. I guess they just didn't mesh well tonight. Who knows? Maybe they'll have a better match at NXT TakeOver Dallas if they have a rematch. But overall, guys, I loved this show. I mean, how awesome was this show? Overall, I got to give this show 8.75 out of 10. That's the highest rating I've given any NXT TakeOver special since I started reviewing these specials on my channel. And I know I didn't review Rival, but I gave that an 8.25 out of 10 if anybody is curious. Unstoppable is in the review for Unstoppable is in the description box of one of my videos. I think my Money in the Bank review. But if anyone's curious, I gave that a 7.75 out of 10. Like I said, I thought that show was good. I don't think it was as great as previous NXT TakeOver specials, but still a good show. I mean, NXT is always delivering. And I remember seeing a sign in the crowd that said NXT is greater than Raw. Well, I love WWE, but NXT is the future. And yeah, NXT is better than Raw, even though Monday's show was one hell of a show, especially with Roman Reigns winning the championship at the end. How he won it was just awesome. I have a video that I'll probably do about him as champion and where I see it going from there. But yeah, I mean, NXT TakeOver London, definitely worth checking out. I loved this show. Like I said, I'm giving it an 8.75 out of 10. I just really enjoyed the atmosphere, the matches, especially the 2 women's matches and the main event. The main event was one of the best booked NXT Championship matches I've seen, just because there was no running around, there was no screwy shenanigans. It was a fight. I loved it. Finn Balor brought out everything he could, and he had to beat Samoa Joe. Awesome match. I freaking loved it. And it's definitely one of the best matches of the year. I think that definitely deserves to be on NXT Greatest Matches Volume 2 when that Blu-ray and DVD eventually comes out in 2016 or 2017. So that'll conclude my live review. I'm going to go back to the comments section of the video to see if anybody know the comments. Okay, I'm going to go to my Twitter. Nothing other than a new follower. Shout out to @fella Burke. He or she is my yeah, fella Burke. Shout out to you, my latest Twitter follower. I appreciate it. All right, I think that's pretty much it, guys. No, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, no other questions or comments from subscribers or fans. No other notifications on Twitter. So I think I'm pretty much going to just wrap up my NXT TakeOver London review right here. As always, if you're watching this later in the day, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the show. What do you expect from NXT in 2016, especially with the incredible year they had this year in 2015? And, well, actually, before I end this video, I might as well make this announcement because this is still, to me, quite a feat, quite a little milestone, so to speak. On Sunday, I reached 51 subscribers. And I always said that if I reached 50 subscribers, I wanted to do a small Q&A to thank everyone that subscribed to my channel, everyone that supported my channel since day one. I know 50 subscribers doesn't really sound like much, but when you're like me and you started a year ago and you weren't really getting many subscribers, and then in recent weeks, recent months, you acquire more subscribers and get up to 50, that's quite an accomplishment. You know, that's something that I feel really proud of because I put a lot of hard work and effort into these videos. So with that said, I do want to do a short Q&A. I don't have an exact date of when I want to do it. I won't know like what my schedule for next week is going to look like until tomorrow. But what I'll say is this: when I do this Q&A, you guys can ask me any questions, wrestling related or non-wrestling related. Nothing personal or inappropriate. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, if you can ask me questions about wrestling or anything non-wrestling. You can ask me about movies, TV, video games, music. You know, I'll give more guidelines as once I start to like plan this, once I have a better idea of when I'm going to do this. But yeah, I just want to say to all 51 subscribers, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Please continue to support my channel. Spread the word if you got friends who are wrestling fans and they love they love to watch, you know, good videos from passionate wrestling fans like myself. Please recommend my channel to them. You know, also follow me on Twitter at Robbie1Kenobi, just like it's spelled on my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So like I said, I'll keep you guys posted on when I'm going to actually do this Q&A. And I also have my year-end awards video that I'm going to do. I'm very excited for that, and more details will come with that as well. I think what I might do at the end of this week is film an announcement video for both the Q&A and my year-end awards. So that way you get all the details, all the guidelines, etc., in one video. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. This is the 4th consecutive video I've done this week and the 3rd consecutive live stream. But you know, live streams are just very easy and convenient to film. You know, and how fitting is it that Finn Bálor is my profile picture, considering he won his match at NXT TakeOver London. But I'm gonna stop rambling, you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Share this video amongst your friends. And once again, thank you to everyone who has supported my channel since day one. Thank you to the 51 subscribers that have subscribed to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and keep tuning in for more videos. Until next time, guys. Excuse me. I'll see y'all later.